Hello, beautiful people. This is a continuation of my research paper, Work in Progress. We are talking about Relateful being a place that people can try out relational practices. And we're mid-example of one of my favorite ones. One of my favorite stories of why I love Relateful, and I'm so all in, and I don't, how's the focus? I need to stand in. There we go. And the reason I love Relateful is that it changed my life really early on. I had a series of dysfunctional relationships, and I never had any improvement, no matter how many workshops, how many weekends, how much therapy I did. How many meditations and retreats, and I'm brushing my hair on live TV. Okay, so let's start. Relateful also completely changed how I relate to anger. This practice changed my life and continues to change my life. But almost a decade ago, learning to be with anger in Relateful sessions, this shift was a total game changer, a new universe. Not just how angry in relationship, but anger at the whole world. Not just changing related to anger in relationship, but changed the anger held at the whole world. Okay. It didn't just change how I related to anger in personal relationships, but it also changed the anger I held at the whole world. As a person who cares about the planet, it was a big thing. Before this work, anger was fast, reactive, loud, very convincing in the moment, less convincing in hindsight. Like the movie Inside Out, my anger was all there was at the moment. And apologies to anyone within earshot at like Zion National Park in 2015, before I got into Relateful. You did not sign up for that experience. What began to shift wasn't that anger disappeared. It's that I could stay with it without immediately acting it out. Instead of being taken over, there was space, awareness of another person remained, awareness that what was underneath began to show up. Hurt, confusion, longing, and curiosity of reactivity, and curiosity of the other person. In earlier times, anger would bring me back to just being with myself. It was all my perception, everything that I thought was all that I could see. And in the heated moment, there's no access to anything else. Through Relateful, I developed a relationship to anger itself. And the viewfinder again, I don't know why it keeps doing that. Through Relateful, I developed a relationship to anger itself, not by bypassing it, not suppressing it, but by being with it in a group while still being with others. That changed everything. For the first time in my adult life, my relationships didn't slowly deteriorate towards breakup. They actually started improving, which was new. Because up until then, I had a strong track record of double-digit breakups, of what I skillfully reframed as successful endings. And the streamline through all my relationships and my romantic partners, there was a common denominator, and they were the main thing that was always the same was me. Why can't I get this right? Maybe I should do autofocus. What do you guys think? Autofocus? Is that better? Okay, so yeah, I was really good at breakups. I was really good at dysfunctional relationships. And they lasted a while because of the part of being able to own and admit and be sorry and see it after the fact, which enabled these relationships to last far much longer than they probably should have. Anyway, this shift was the one that solidly grounded me into understanding that this relateful practice was the true missing link in all of my enlightenment self-help chasing. For many people, including myself, personal development begins as an inward journey. We learn to recognize patterns, understand our history, and reflect our experiences. And that work can be real and meaningful, but insight alone doesn't change how I showed up with other people. This is reminding me, I used to do anger management work. I had anger management. This like years of anger management therapy, hypnosis, so much work on so many hours and work on letting go of anger, inhaling love, exhaling judgment, and so on. I mean, it was like I did learn to scream less at traffic. There were some improvements with the yoga and the breathing, you know. Again, that was alone. I was able to be less angry alone. Oh my gosh. Okay. Writing is terrible though. I have a bunch of stuff to delete below. All right, implications for personal development. The emergence of practices. I'm going to put a banner. Start here, so I know where I'm at. What's this called? I mean, it's such a boring. I mean, all of this is so boring. I need to make a comedy version of this whole thing. And here we go. Implications. Implications for personal development. The emergence of practices such as relatefulness raises an important question for the broader field of personal development. What happens when awareness is practiced not only internally, but within live relationship? We've learned how to be aware of ourselves and the dog. Hi, Rocky. Oh, good boy. We've learned how to be aware of ourselves. So what happens when awareness is practiced not only internally, but in real-time interaction with others? What if we had a kind of laboratory for human relationships, a place to practice being human with other humans? Each interaction becomes a kind of living experiment, never repeated, always unfolding in real time. Every session is a different mix of people, and even the same mix of people, we come in different modes and feelings, and it's always unique. People become aware of how their perceptions shape their experience, allowing relationships to shift through increased mutual understanding. This can make it possible to stay present with disagreement, intensity, or misunderstanding without ultimately withdrawing or escalating. Conversations that once led to reactivity with more space, patience, and clarity instead of assuming, and this is just too annoying. Over time, both in my experience and across many people I've practiced with, clear patterns begin to emerge. Changes that are hard to access through reflection alone. Noticing emotional activation as it arises rather than after the fact. Responding with more awareness and care while staying connected to the impact of others. Pause in the moment instead of automatically reacting. So like the first one, this is the same. Sensing one another beyond words. Staying present with difficult states of anger, boredom, discomfort, rather than avoiding or acting them out. Becoming aware of subtle relational dynamics like people-pleasing, withdrawal, or control as they happen. Share previously hidden thoughts or judgments in ways that increase understanding and a rupture connection. And discover some judgments that were never about others at all and that begin to lose their grip. These aren't dynamic breakthroughs. They are small, real shifts in moments that used to run us. Not every session brings a clear aha, but over time, these moments accumulate, expanding capacity, increasing awareness, and creating new possibilities for how we relate. Relatefulness functions less as a technique designed to produce predetermined outcomes and more as a context in which relational processes become visible. It's like a gym for it's like a gym for working out. It's like a gym for working out relationship dynamics. Like practicing it. Like there's a lot of, we're not the best at this. You can look at our world. We'll get to that in the last chapters. As this awareness deepens, individuals often report increased curiosity towards others' perspectives. That's part of the practice. It's not as this awareness deepens. As part of the practice, we develop increased curiosity towards other people's perspectives, often embodying, trying them on, and discovering more empathy and finding these hidden places within us in a shared nervous system. That makes no sense. Disagreement becomes less about defending a position and more about exploring multiple ways of seeing. Disagreement becomes, this is just annoying. I don't like it. Relational awareness is not just something we bring to ourselves. It becomes shared. Others help us see what we can't, feel what we couldn't access alone, and receive feedback in real time. We receive feedback and we also feel the impact we have on others, even unspoken impacts. We don't just need each other for connection. We need each other because we have blind spots. Others become part of how we see and lead us into new places. Awareness begins within but doesn't stop there. A particularly revealing moment in this practice is when another person begins to feel like other, a threat, a judgment, an idea. Sometimes this shows up as feeling out of the group, like often. When the shift is noticed, something opens, interpretation loosens, a sense of connection can become possible again. Sometimes being with this feeling of being out is like befriending hidden parts where we can pause instead of react in fear. Connection isn't the goal. Or is that other? Just here. Where did I go? Connection isn't the goal. Moments of othering. Particularly when revealing a moment, it's just so long. Ugh. It's driving me nuts. Okay. Awareness begins within, but doesn't stop there. And we lost picture. I don't get it. I don't know what to do about that. A particular revealing moment in this practice, I already did that. Moments of othering can be seen as it happens. A comment heard as a criticism, a look interpreted as a judgment, an assumption about someone's intention arises. I think so. In those moments, the other person can stop being experienced as human and become an idea or threat. The shift happens quickly, often outside of awareness. But when this is noticed, something opens. The moment someone becomes other, possibility of returning to the person rather than reacting to the interpretation. This is just all, I don't like it. All right, I skipped something on shame. All right, let me just read this. Let's see, I'll just do shame here. Shame example. Okay. This type of awareness shifts, blah, blah, blah. All right. One of the clearest examples of this is shame. Shame is difficult to access alone. It hides, deflects, and often disappears the moment it feels seen. But in relational spaces, something different can happen. To stay present with shame while others are there, seeing you, not turning away, can shift the experience entirely. And instead of something to escape, it becomes something that can be met. Almost like, oh, there you are. Because these states are shared, something begins to change when they are met together. They soften, move, and become something we can be with rather than hide from. There's something missing here. Like being with these things is like shame has a physical sensation. Like it's like, oh, that's what's when it's like, oh, there you are. It's like and that's what changed in me. Like I then noticed this sensation in my body. And when I was reacting to my partner, was able to stop and realize this is shame, and it's mine. I sat with my shame instead of attacking my partner to escape the pain of shame. Makes no sense. Oh, I'm making it more complicated. Okay. This type of shift in awareness, especially here with shame, can empower us in daily life and in relationships to experience more than being debilitated by shame. In this lack of relational shame work, is this lack of relational shame work part of the loneliness epidemic? A lot of the things that we do in the Relateful, I believe if there was funding for the loneliness epidemic, like there's funding for other epidemics and dis-ease, if there was funding, we could get these things out and help a lot of people. Relational tension, rather than seeing something to avoid, becomes a place where new understandings emerge. As awareness deepens, nervous system regulation shifts, not by eliminating activation, but by increasing capacity to stay present while it's happening. Moments that once triggered automatic reactions begin to open into new opportunities for awareness, communication, and understanding. That's true for me. What's also cool is we don't need our friends and family to do Relateful sessions to experience powerful results in our lives. When I slow down with my partner and practice some of these moments and noticing my sensations and curious about his experience, curious about what's underneath my reactivity, it doesn't just affect me. The old paradigm of personal development, creating more self-absorption, is no longer the paradigm in Relateful. This paradigm actually, my awareness is transferred in the moment to people who are not in the practice of Relateful. There's something about this that can change the world, even if a fraction of us participate. My partner has never done a single session, yet I have seen him grow as if he has. as if he's been in all this work and noticing. He speaks in new ways of like, oh, that's me reacting, or he can slow down when he couldn't before. It's really interesting. I'm very passionate about this missing link, and in this paper is trying to point at it, but it's really having a hard time getting it. Let's go. Inner awareness, inner work builds awareness. Relational practice brings that awareness into living, unpredictable reality with humans and other reality, being human with other humans. I just like the word complexity and all this complexity. And delete that. All right, and here's why is it important now? This is where I'm really stuck. Let's go change this. Where do I do that? What's this called? Why relational awareness matters now. I really love doing this, even though I'm saying super uncapable right now. Why is it not like blue and cool looking? That's another day. I won't bother you with that. Okay. Why relational awareness matters now. We're living in a time where disagreement, excuse me, my own paper is boring me to death. We are living in a time where disagreement is no longer uncomfortable. We're living in a time where disagreement is no longer just uncomfortable. Let's start again. Okay. Take a break. Take a break. Take a break. I'm going to take a break. No, take a second. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to take a break. All right. Should we do the hair? All right. Let's make a short out of this. Let's see if we can do it. Stumble and fall with my words. Just kidding. Why relational awareness matters now. We are living in a time where disagreements is no longer just uncomfortable. It's becoming destructive. The way humans are interacting feels like it is reaching a tipping point. Conversations about climate, energy, politics, and identity do not just diverge, they fracture. People stop listening, stop feeling each other, and stop recognizing themselves in the other. The other person becomes an idea, someone who is wrong, misinformed, or even a threat. From rising loneliness to political division that break apart families, something is straining how we relate. Most people do not actually want conflict at this level, but we lack structures that help us stay present with each other, especially when we disagree. And we lost the camera, but I think you can still hear me. Let's switch to this one. Settings. We got this. Okay, so now the lighting's all wrong. My short's all ruined. This is how my life is. Move lights, and I'm still live. What? It's hot light. No dog. That's why I'm practicing. And I lost the stand. It's just getting good. I'm just really liking this part. Okay. Darn it. So, I'm not going to be looking at the camera. Why this matters now. I guess I have to come back to this with the right camera. All right, well, that's all for now then. We'll have to start a new one with why relational awareness matters. Thanks for watching.